What if I told you that within you lies a hidden power, a secret that could change everything? Your relationships, your inner peace, even how you face life's chaos. It's not an empty promise or a self-help trick. It's something Carl Jung, one of the great explorers of the human soul, discovered over a century ago. He called it the healer archetype, a universal force we all carry inside, but few know how to awaken. And when you do, everything blossoms. Your confidence, your bonds, your purpose. Sounds incredible, right? But here's the key. It's not something you find outside in a book or in someone else. It's in you, waiting for you to embrace it. Today, we'll walk that path together, step by step, with Jung's ideas as our compass. So stay with me, because this isn't just a video. It's an invitation to transform your life. Carl Jung wasn't just a psychologist. He was a visionary who dared to look where others wouldn't. The unconscious, that mysterious part of our mind that holds our fears, desires, and deepest truths. He believed we all share universal patterns he called archetypes. Imagine archetypes as invisible molds that shape how we think, feel, and act. One of the most powerful is the healer, that inner voice seeking to mend our wounds, reconnect what's broken, and guide us to a fuller life. But it doesn't appear magically. You have to summon it. And that starts when you dare to listen to what your soul has been whispering for a while. Think of a moment in your life. Maybe it was recently, amid the stress of balancing work, family, or that relationship spinning in your head. You felt something, didn't you? A pang in your chest, a knot in your stomach, an intuition saying, "This isn't right." But you ignored it, pushed forward, because that's life, because there's no time, or because what will others think? Jung would say that was your unconscious speaking, and that feeling wasn't a punishment, but a signal. The healer inside you was trying to wake up, asking you to pay attention. Let me give you an example that probably rings a bell. Imagine Maria, a 32-year-old woman in Bogota. She works in an office, cares for her kids, and has been in a relationship that, on paper, seems perfect. Her partner is kind, stable, but something doesn't fit. Every time she's with him, she feels an emptiness she can't explain. Or think of Daniel, a 40-year-old man in Los Angeles with a good job. But every Sunday night, he feels something's missing, like his life's on autopilot. Sound familiar? Jung tells us those sensations aren't random. They're the unconscious shouting that we've lost touch with our essence. And the healer archetype is the bridge to reclaim it. Here's a pause for us to reflect together. Take a second and ask yourself, when was the last time I felt that inexplicable discomfort? What was I doing? Who was I with? You don't need to answer out loud, but note it mentally, because we'll come back to it later. This is the first practical step. Start noticing the signals. Jung said the unconscious doesn't speak in words, but in symbols and emotions. That intuition telling you to step away from someone or chase that dream is the healer in action, and learning to hear it can change everything. But it's not all that simple, right? We live in a fast-paced world. Between paying bills, caring for others, and keeping up appearances, it's easy to disconnect from ourselves. Jung understood this. He said the unconscious doesn't give up. If you ignore it, it finds other ways to get noticed. Ever had a weird dream you can't shake? Or a fight with someone that left you thinking more about yourself than the argument? That's your unconscious persisting, and the healer is behind it, waiting for you to let it act. Let's talk about the shadow, another key concept from Jung. The shadow is everything we hide. Those flaws we won't admit, those fears we cover with excuses, those parts of ourselves we judge as bad. For example, maybe Maria in Bogota feels selfish for wanting time for herself instead of giving it all to her family. Or Daniel in Los Angeles represses his desire to switch careers because, at his age, it's too late. The shadow isn't your enemy, it's part of you. And the healer shows up when you decide to face it, accept it, and integrate it. Imagine this. You're at a family gathering and someone makes a comment that stings. Normally, you stay quiet, bottle it up, smile on the outside while rage boils within. That rage is your shadow peeking out. Jung would say ignoring it only makes it stronger. But if you face it, if you ask, "Why does this hit me so hard?" the healer steps in. Maybe you realize it's not just the comment, but an old pain of feeling invisible. Integrating the shadow doesn't mean becoming perfect. It means becoming fully human. Now, a practical action. Next time you feel anger, sadness, or frustration, don't avoid it. Grab a notebook and write, "What's this showing me about myself?" You don't need deep answers right away. Just start. This exercise is like reaching out to the healer inside you. And if you're up for it, share in the comments how it went. I'd love to hear, and we can inspire others to try it. Speaking of that, if this message is already resonating, give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming, because this is just the beginning. Back to the path. Jung said life is like a constant fork in the road. One path is the easy one, following what everyone expects, sticking to the routine, not making waves. The other is the unknown, listening to your intuition, taking risks, facing what scares you. The healer pushes you toward this second path because that's where growth lies. Before we go on, I'll mention my book is available. It's full of tips and techniques to help you overcome emotional blocks and love yourself more. Find the link in the description and pinned comment. Let's continue. Think of someone like Ana, 28, in Mexico City. She left a stable job to pursue her passion for painting. Though everyone called it crazy, today she not only lives off her art, but feels alive. Or Juan, 35, in Medellin, who ended a toxic relationship and found peace in his solitude. The healer blossoms when you choose the authentic over the comfortable. But choosing that path isn't easy. We fear the void, the what if I fail. Jung knew this and said that void is sacred. It's like clearing out a closet full of old clothes. When you remove what you don't use, you make space for the new. When you let go of what doesn't serve you, a relationship that dims you, a job that drains you, a belief that limits you, the healer starts working. Your energy shifts and the universe responds. Have you noticed how, after making a brave choice, things start to fall into place? That's not a coincidence. It's synchronicity, another Jung term we'll dive into later. For now, imagine your life as a garden. There are wilted flowers, habits that weigh you down, people who exhaust you. The healer is the gardener, pruning those dry branches so stronger ones can grow. But you have to give it permission. How? By listening to those signals we mentioned. The knot in your stomach, the recurring dream, the intuition you can't explain but feel. Every time you follow it, the healer grows stronger and your life begins to bloom. Here's another moment of reflection. Think of something or someone draining you right now. Maybe a friendship that always takes but never gives, or a project that no longer excites you. What if you let it go? Don't make big decisions yet. Just imagine how you'd feel. Lighter, freer, right? That's the healer whispering, trust. And if this is stirring something in you, share it in the comments. Tell me what you want to let go of and why. Your words could be the push someone else needs. We've talked about signals, the shadow, the healer waking up, but this is just the start. When you embrace this archetype, you don't just heal your inner wounds. You begin transforming your relationships and purpose. In the next part, we'll explore how the healer helps you protect your energy and release what doesn't align with you. So don't go anywhere, because what's coming is even deeper. If you're liking this, subscribe, hit the bell, and share this video with someone who needs this message. Together, we can help more people discover their inner healer. If you've made it this far, you already know the healer archetype, that force Carl Jung saw in each of us, starts to bloom when you listen to your unconscious signals and face your shadow. But now we're going further. What happens when that healer fully awakens? It doesn't just mend what's broken inside you. It changes how you relate to others and how you protect the most valuable thing you have, your energy. Because when you embrace this archetype, you don't just transform yourself, everything around you begins to align. So let's keep this journey going together, because what's coming is key to making your life truly flourish. Jung said our energy is sacred, not just a mystical concept, but the fuel that gets you up each morning, that gives you strength to love, create, and chase what matters. But what happens when you leave it unguarded? Think of Sophia, 45, in Guadalajara. She's a mom, works at a bank, and is always there for everyone. Her kids, her boss, her friends. But by day's end, she feels empty. Or imagine Luis, 29, in Miami, spending hours on social media, comparing himself to others, ending up exhausted without knowing why. Sound familiar? That's what happens when you give your energy away without filters. The healer teaches you to set boundaries, not out of selfishness, but out of self-love. Let's be real. Ever been with someone who leaves you drained after talking? Maybe a coworker who always complains or a relative who criticizes everything you do. You start the day with energy, but 5 minutes with them, and it's like they stole your spark. Jung would say that's not a coincidence. Those interactions are mirrors of your unconscious, showing you where you need to heal and where you're giving more than you should. The healer doesn't ask you to cut everyone out of your life, but to learn to say no when something doesn't nourish you. Here's a practical example. Think of Carla, 38, in Cali. She had a friend of years who always called to dump her problems, but never asked how Carla was. Carla felt bad about pulling away until one day she asked, "What does this give me?" She decided to set distance, not with anger, but with clarity. At first it felt odd, but then she noticed something. She had more time for herself, more peace. Or think of Miguel, 42, in Houston, who stopped answering work messages after hours. His boss was surprised, but he felt free. That's the healer in action, protecting your energy so you can bloom. Now a pause for you, reflect. Who or what is draining you today? Maybe a relationship that weighs you down, or a habit like checking your phone every 5 minutes. Imagine setting a limit. How would you feel? Calmer, more in control, right? This isn't theory. It's something you can try today. And if you're up for it, tell me in the comments what you decided to limit. I'd love to know how it goes, and your words might help someone else take that step. Jung also talked about projections. What's that? Simple. What you see in others, good and bad, reflects you. If someone gets under your skin, it's not just them. It's something in you you haven't integrated. For example, if your partner's messiness bugs you, maybe it's because you repress your own inner chaos. The healer invites you to look at those projections, not to blame yourself, but to grow. When you recognize them, your relationships change. You stop fighting the world and start healing it from within. Think of this. You're arguing with your sister because she's always late. You get mad, call her out, but still feel off. Jung would say, stop. What's this showing you about yourself? Maybe you realize you hate tardiness because you demand perfection from yourself. When you integrate that, you not only stop clashing with your sister, you start releasing that inner pressure. Or imagine a colleague criticizes you and it boils your blood. Looking at it with the healer, maybe you see their critique hits an insecurity of yours. Healing it makes you stronger, not weaker. Here's another practical action. Next time someone throws you off, ask, what part of me is reacting? Write what you uncover. You don't have to share it with anyone, but if you want, leave it in the comments. This exercise is like a mirror the healer holds up for you. And speaking of sharing, if this message is helping, give it a like and pass it to someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can wake up more people's inner healers. Now let's talk about letting go. Jung said relationships that don't align with you are messages from your unconscious. Think of those friendships or partnerships that feel like a battlefield. Misunderstandings, fights, exhaustion. It's easy to blame the other person, but the healer asks you to look deeper. What if that chaos is a sign you're not being true to yourself? Letting go isn't giving up, it's choosing yourself. Imagine Laura, 34, in Monterey, who spent years trying to fix a relationship that dimmed her. When she let it go, she didn't just reclaim her energy, she found a love that made her shine. Or Pedro, 50, in Chicago, who left a toxic job and discovered his passion for teaching. Letting go is the healer pruning your life so it can flourish. But letting go hurts. We cling because we fear the void. Jung said that void is a gift. It's the silence before the music, the blank canvas before the art. When you release what doesn't serve you, you give the universe space to bring what does. And here's where synchronicity comes in, that magical Jung concept. It's when things start falling into place. You meet the perfect person at the right time, an opportunity pops up that seems tailor-made. It's not luck. It's your healer aligning with your truth. Pause again. Think of something you've been holding on to, even though it weighs you down. Maybe a relationship, a grudge, a should you impose on yourself. Imagine letting it go. What do you feel? Relief? Fear? Hope? That whirlwind is the healer at work. And if this is resonating, share it in the comments. Tell me what you want to release and how you think it'd change your life. Your words don't just free you, they inspire this community. Let's talk healthy relationships, because the healer doesn't just help you let go. It guides you to connections that lift you up. Jung believed the people we choose to keep close shape our psyche. If you're surrounded by doubt, criticism, or drama, your healer weakens. But if you're with support, inspiration, authenticity, it thrives. Think of Daniela, 27, in Barranquilla, who left a group of judgy friends and found others who celebrated her dreams. Or Carlos, 36, in New York, who swapped competitive colleagues for a team that motivates him. The healer pushes you to choose relationships that reflect your essence. Here's a practical tip. Make a quick list. On one side, people who fill you with energy. On the other, those who sap it. Don't judge, just observe. Then decide how you want to adjust that. You don't need to cut everything off cold, but start giving more space to what nourishes you. And if you're up for it, tell me in the comments who's on your energy positive list. I'd love to celebrate those connections with you. The healer also reconnects you with your dreams. Remember those goals you had before life got complicated? Maybe you wanted to travel, write, start something. But outside noise, opinions, responsibilities dim them. Jung said those dreams don't die. They're in your unconscious, waiting for you to claim them. When the healer awakens, it gives you clarity to chase them. Imagine Elena, 41, in Tijuana, who left a safe job to open her cafe. Today, she's not just successful, she feels alive. Or Javier, 33, in Bogota, who picked up the guitar again after years and now plays in a band. That's the healer blooming. Last pause for this part. Think of a dream you left behind. What was it? What stopped you? You don't need to jump back into it today, but imagine how you'd feel if you did. That tingle is the healer calling. And if this is moving you, subscribe and share this video. The next part is the finale. How the healer transforms your entire reality. Don't miss it. We've reached the heart of this journey. If you've followed this far, you know how the healer archetype, that force Carl Jung saw in all of us, awakens when you listen to your unconscious, face your shadow, and protect your energy. Now we'll see how fully embracing it makes your whole reality flourish. It's not just about healing wounds or improving relationships. It's about living so authentically that the universe has no choice but to align with you. So get ready, because this is the grand finale, and it's packed with power. Jung believed the life we experience outside mirrors our inner world. If there's chaos, drama, or emptiness, it's not just bad luck. It's your unconscious begging you to look inside. But when the healer takes the reins, that reflection changes. Think of Rosa, 52, in Puebla, trapped in guilt and resentment for years until she faced her shadows. Today, her family says she radiates peace, and she feels everything fits. Or Andres, 31, in Dallas, who stopped comparing himself to others and now attracts opportunities he never dreamed of. That's the healer transforming reality. Let's talk authenticity, because here's the core. Jung said life's purpose isn't half-hearted happiness, it's wholeness. And that starts when you let yourself be who you truly are. No masks, no imposed molds. Think of how you feel when you change for someone. Maybe you hide your opinions to avoid a fight or fake interest in something that bores you. That's betraying your essence, and the healer knows it. When you align with your truth, everything blossoms. Your confidence, your bonds, your peace. Jung believed the life we experience outside mirrors our inner world. If there's chaos, drama, or emptiness, it's not just bad luck. It's your unconscious begging you to look inside. But when the healer takes the reins, that reflection changes. Think of Rosa, 52, in Puebla, trapped in guilt and resentment for years until she faced her shadows. Today, her family says she radiates peace, and she feels everything fits. Or Andres, 31, in Dallas, who stopped comparing himself to others and now attracts opportunities he never dreamed of. That's the healer transforming reality. Let's talk authenticity, because here's the core. Jung said life's purpose isn't half-hearted happiness, it's wholeness. And that starts when you let yourself be who you truly are. No masks, no imposed molds. Think of how you feel when you change for someone. Maybe you hide your opinions to avoid a fight or fake interest in something that bores you. That's betraying your essence, and the healer knows it. When you align with your truth, everything blossoms. Your confidence, your bonds, your peace. Imagine Valeria, 29, in Cartagena, always the good girl, saying yes to everything until she'd had enough. She started speaking her mind, setting boundaries, and though she lost some friends at first, she gained respect and a love that values her as she is. Or Roberto, 47, in San Diego, who stopped following his family's success script and opened a carpentry workshop. Today, he says he's never felt so alive. The healer pushes you to that, to live from your authenticity, not expectations. Pause to reflect. Ask yourself, where in my life am I not being me? Maybe at work, where you stay quiet to not rock the boat, or at home, where you carry more than you should. Imagine saying enough and being 100% you. How does that feel? That relief is the healer whispering, this is the way. And if this hits you, drop it in the comments. Tell me where you want to be more authentic and why. Your words can spark something in someone else. Jung also spoke of chaos as a gift. Yes, you read that right. Those crisis moments, a breakup, a layoff, a fight, aren't the end. They're the start. He said there's no awakening without pain, but that pain is a fire that burns the old so something new can rise. Think of Marisol, 39, in Lima. After a painful divorce, she started writing, and today her blog inspires thousands. Or Diego, 35, in Denver, who lost his job and found his calling as a trainer. The healer uses chaos to refine you, to make you bloom stronger. Here's a practical action. Next time you're in chaos, don't run, feel it. Ask, what's this teaching me? Write what comes up. Maybe a lesson about your limits, your fears, your strength. That's the healer turning disorder into clarity. And if you try it, share it in the comments. I'd love to hear how it went, and others will too. Now let's talk synchronicity, because this is pure magic. Jung described it as accidents that aren't. Meeting someone just when you need them. Finding a book that answers your doubts. It's the universe confirming you're on the right path. But it only happens when the healer is awake, when you live from your truth. Think of how, after letting go of something toxic, an opportunity suddenly appears. That's the healer and synchronicity working together. For example, imagine Alicia, 44, in Culiacan. She let go of a draining friendship and weeks later met a mentor who helped her launch her business. Or Gabriel, 30, in Orlando. After quitting a job he hated, he found a free course that led to his passion. When you embrace the healer, the universe responds. It's not chance, it's alignment. And you can live it if you dare to let go and trust. Pause again. Think of a time in your life when everything magically clicked. What were you doing? What were you trusting? That was the healer guiding you. And if you want, share it in the comments. Those stories remind us we're not alone in this. The healer also reconnects you with your purpose. Jung believed we all have a calling, something that gives our life meaning, but noise, expectations, and doubts dim it. When you awaken it, that purpose shines again. Think of Teresa, 50, in Querétaro, who left a corporate job to teach yoga. Today, she says she found her soul. Or Manuel, 27, in Phoenix, who rekindled his love for photography and now lives off it. The healer doesn't just heal, it guides you to what makes you vibrate. Here's a final exercise. Write 3 things you loved doing as a kid. Maybe dancing, drawing, exploring. Now pick one and do it this week, even for 10 minutes. That small act is the healer reconnecting you with your essence. And if you do it, tell me in the comments how it felt. Those sparks of joy are the start of something big. We've reached the close, but first a quick recap. The healer archetype, as Jung saw it, is your inner power to heal, let go, and flourish. It starts with listening to your unconscious, facing your shadow, protecting your energy. Then it guides you to authentic relationships and a purpose that fills you. And finally, it transforms your reality with synchronicity and wholeness. This isn't the end, it's your beginning. Embrace the healer and everything will bloom. Reflect for a second. What will you let go of today? What will you reclaim? Imagine your life in a month, a year, if you choose this path. That tingle of possibility is the healer calling. And if this moved you, do something for me. Give it a like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs this message. Together, we can create a wave of transformation. Last call to action. Leave your comment. Tell me what you're taking from this, what you'll try, what you want to heal. Your words don't just inspire me, they build this community. Hit the bell so you don't miss what's next, because we'll keep exploring how to live from the soul. Thanks for being here. Remember, the healer is in you, and when you embrace it, everything flourishes. See you soon.